G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm working in the shed today. I've got the head back from Head Start Developments. You can see the double valve springs in there. It's been machined to accept the double valve springs with some locators. I've just been finishing putting the head back together, so I just put the front piece on the pulley, line the pulley up. You can see the back, it's all super clean. So I've got the valve out here, you can't really tell, but they've cut the valve back, pocket ported. Yeah, just done a great job all around. Put bigger 10mm exhaust studs in. And then yeah, I've just been working on the block, so I'll pull all this off. So I've just been tidying up the pistons. They were caked with carbon, giving the bores a bit of a clean, resurfacing the block. And so yeah, as you can see, I've installed the ARP head studs. A little bit tricky because you got to make sure the thread holes haven't got shit in them and don't have you know, degreaser or whatever you use to clean up. Must use this when putting the head studs in. Got to lubricate the threads as they go in, and then I use this to just a little magnet to pick up any stuff. So yeah, it's so yeah, I've got all the head studs all in. This is the metal gasket. I was telling you, if you guys watch the live feed, it's actually quite a thick gasket. But yeah, so the bottom side of that head gasket has been copper coated. Just a precaution, just a light coat, nothing crazy. But yeah, so head studs in, metal gasket on, and then I'm just getting ready to pop this head on, really. So, and then also too, I've taken the water pump off. Got to get a new water pump. I've got to take the crank pulley off. I've got to probably put a front crank seal in it because it appears to be leaking. The rear is fine, and then I'm going to reseal all this, and then obviously degrease it all, clean up all the block, paint it, whatever. But that's basically where I'm up to at the moment. The bores aren't too bad. You know, like still see the sort of the texture there. In some areas a little bit glazed, but I'm not too fussed. These were like pretty thick, so obviously these motors must run rich, or mine was just running rich. I probably could clean these up a bit more, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's only a second-handy block, so I'm not stressing too much. Just trying to, I don't want it leaking everywhere, so as you can see, it's sort of years of just grime and stuff, so I'm in the middle of cleaning all that up at the moment. It's my crank pulley. These are non-interference fit with the valve, so I'm just going to sit it on there and then line everything up. So I will report back once I've got the head on. As you can see, I've got the head now sitting on the block. I've just put the ARP nuts finger tight. It's also, as I said previously, it's also important that number one, the washers go around the right way, and number two, you put your lubricant on the face of the washers, so when you tension up, it does what it's meant to do. I've got the crank pulley lined up to where it should be. I just haven't timed the headers yet, but it's non-interference, so I can time it. I haven't tensioned up these head studs as yet because I've sprayed copper spray on the bottom of the metal gasket, so I want it to sit untensioned just for a little while, another hour or so. One of the advantages of using the 2.2 in the rear wheel drive is it has all your turbo water feeds and your oil drain and your oil feed already built in to the pipework and the block, so that makes it super easy. So obviously I'm not going to be running the turbo say here, I'm probably going to be running it more so here, so I'll just run all new lines to wherever the turbo ends up sitting. Again, I still need to I want to get the head on, I'll get all this timed. I want to get a new water pump, new timing belt. Got to pull off this timing cover and do a new cam seal, crank front seal, seal all that up again, degrease the whole thing, degrease the whole block, and then once I degrease a block, paint it all up, and then we'll sit it in the bay of this. So yeah, so a little bit more work to go. I've been put onto someone that does that, prints his or makes his own crank pulley with a crank trigger wheel included in it. So I'm probably going to go that way rather than reusing this pulley, and I'm probably going to buy his, because it's not that expensive. So I'll probably buy his crank pulley, and it has the trigger wheel built into it, and then I'm assuming use these 2 bolts to run the crank center, and then that way too gives me a bit more options with ECUs and whatnot. But yeah, Head Start Developments did a really nice job. The double valve springs, the valves, everything looks really nice. So I'm super excited to test it all out, especially the 10mm stud. So I shouldn't be pulling studs out of the head or anything like that. And yeah, so a little bit of progress today. Now I just got to sort of order a bunch of parts, wait on a bit more parts, and do a bit more labour in sort of degreasing and cleaning it all up and resealing stuff, so it doesn't look like trash like it does now. Look how caked the block is. Obviously it's been leaking from probably the oil drain or oil feed or something, and then it's obviously been leaking from the crank front seal and stuff like that, and just sort of over the years or whatever, it's just all caked on the front. The pistons and the bores look, like I said, in good condition. A little bit of carbon, but I've sort of just tidied them up quickly. But yeah, besides that, a bit of progress for all of you guys. Once I get a bunch more parts, then obviously we'll finish this off, and then we'll sort of go on the way of the manifold or whatever. But while I've got the other head, you can see here, the distributor will now sit here, at the front of the motor, whereas you can see with this one, I'll turn the light on, you can see with this one, that's the front of the motor there, but you can see the distributor sits right back. So if I was to use this head, the water outlet and distributor would hit the firewall and I wouldn't be able to do anything. So yeah, I just got this head out as a reference. Just I thought it'd be interesting just to show you guys, so you can see, yeah, the dizzy right at the back of the head, and then now in the rear-wheel drive configuration, the dizzy slots in there, and once it's all, and then the water outlets on this side. So just like a normal setup in a normal rear-wheel drive setup, except now I've got oil cooler, and I've got all the turbo pipe work, and I've got 2.2 instead of a 2 litre. So a little bit of mucking around, but overall you can see how big that box is compared to the motor. It's hilarious. But yeah, overall cool little setup. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Thanks to all our new and current subscribers, I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.